Hello guys and welcome to Simplifying Electronics. In today's tutorial, we will start with the 101 of programming with functions and its usage. Before starting with this, you must know about the different types of tokens used in C programming language. We have made a tutorial for this and I will leave a link in the I button, in the description and also in the pinned comment for the tutorial. So let us start. Functions actually form the base of C programming language. This is because C programming language is a block structured language. The programs written in C language must have functional and meaningful blocks. In simpler terms, it means that every line of code a programmer writes must be enclosed within a function. So we can say that functions are the backbone of C programming and its usage is critical to programmers. But there are certain protocols or rules associated with the usage of functions. There are three properties associated with functions or any kind of identifier. By the way, if you do not know what is identifier, then watch the tutorial about tokens in C language from our channel. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments. Three properties associated with usage of any identifiers are declaration of the identifier, definition of the identifier, and call of the identifier. Declaration of an identifier means that we as a programmer are presenting the identifier in advance to the compiler that we are going to use throughout the lifetime of the program. This is because unlike keywords, identifiers are not known to the compiler. So it is just like the disclaimer that we are shown before starting off movies, soap operas or web series. A programmer defines the type of the identifier in this part and this in turn prepares the compiler for the usage of the identifier. Now since the identifiers are not known to the compiler and the compiler does not know about the function and the objective of the identifiers, we or the programmer must define the function/objective of the identifier. This is done in the definition part of the identifier. The last part is the call of the identifier. After the compiler is completely aware about the new identifier, now we can use this identifier anywhere we want. This part is known as the call of the identifier. Now let us see these steps in context of a summation function which is an identifier and it is not known to the compiler. For this exercise, we will use an online compiler for C language which goes by the name online GDB and it looks something like this. The link to this compiler is given in the description and in the pinned comment. Let us make an example of a user-defined function named sum. Let us first declare the function to the compiler which will prepare the compiler for the usage of this function. The format of declaring a function is return type followed by the name of the function and in brackets we will give the information about the arguments of the function. Arguments are the input for any function and the return type is the type of the output of the function. In C language, output is commonly known as the return value. This is the format for declaring any identifier or function in our case. For our summation function, we will write int sum and in brackets we will write this means that the sum function will take two arguments or inputs of integer type and it will output an integer value or it will return an integer value. This means that the function will take two arguments or inputs of integer type and it will output an integer value or it will return an integer value. Now compiler knows the arguments and the return values of the sum function, but it does not know what the function will do with the arguments or the inputs. This is achieved in the definition part of the function or any identifier. We as programmers define the objective of the function or identifiers in this part. So let us define the function sum. The format for this is return type followed by the function name. The type of the arguments is written in round brackets. This follows the body of the function which is written in curly brackets. For the function sum, we will write something like this. This means that some function will take arguments or inputs as integers a and b and it will add these two and will output or return the value of a plus b. This was the definition part of the function. Now let us progress to the call part. Let us say we have two integer variables named as a and b whose values are 10 and 40 respectively, and we want to add both of these variables. So we will use the function sum here, which means that we are calling the function sum which is already declared and defined. This will be returned in this manner. Now since the sum function will return an integer value as the summation of variables a and b, we will use another variable c to store the result of summation. We will write something like this. This means that we called function sum here to add variables a and b, and the result of the summation will be stored in the variable c. Just for your information, our program will look something like this. Upon executing our function, the result will be displayed on the screen like this. For the time being, do not worry about the code as we will see everything in detail. So today we have completed the usage of functions. We will now move to some advanced programming concepts in the next tutorial. Before that, we would require a Linux emulator which goes by the name Cocalc. In the next tutorial, we will set up this online emulator. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you found this video helpful. Leave a comment if you have any query regarding the topic. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video with others.